Hey guys, right here I have a 2016 Toyota Verso 1.8 Trend. And today I'm going to make a startup and full vehicle tour video of it, show you the features inside and out. So here is the key. Let's go ahead and start it up first. Centrally mounted instrument cluster, an electric rack and pinion power steering system is standard on the Verso. The Trend trim gets a leather-wrapped steering wheel. The 1.8-litre petrol engine in the Verso is only available with the Multidrive S continuously variable transmission or CVT. CVT is an automatic transmission with an infinite number of gear ratios that helps in achieving a smoother ride and improved fuel efficiency over a regular automatic. This transmission does feature manual shifting via the plus and minus down by the gear lever, where you push forward to upshift and pull back to downshift. Manual shifting is also available via the pedal shifters on the back of the top two steering wheel spokes. The left pedal downshifts, while the right pedal upshifts. Shifting into reverse activates the Trend's standard front and rear parking sensors and reverse camera with guidance lines. In terms of safety, the Verso gets 7 airbags, anti-lock braking system with electronic brake force distribution and brake assist, vehicle stability control plus, traction control, hill start assist control, tire pressure warning system, an alarm system with immobilizer, and ISOFIX child seat anchor points for the rear seats. Now, let's turn on the hazards, lights, front and rear fog lights, take a look at the engine, and roll down the driver's side window. Standard on the Trend trim are a set of 17-inch anthracite double-spoke alloy rims. The rims on this car are wrapped in Michelin Primacy 3 215/55R17 tires. Brakes are ventilated discs up front and solid discs out back. The suspension comprises of McPherson struts in front and a torsion beam setup at the rear. In 2009, Toyota released the replacement for the Corolla Verso called the Verso. The Verso is a compact multi-purpose vehicle or MPV which can seat either 5 or 7 depending on which configuration you go for. In Toyota's MPV lineup, the Verso sits just below the Asian market Wish. Based on the previous generation E140 Corolla, the Verso was given a major facelift for 2013 which brought the looks of the car in line with the Toyota design language of that time. Spring 2016 saw a minor update for the Verso, which brought a newly designed Touch 2 head unit, new steering wheel, new materials for the interior, and the inclusion of Toyota Safety Sense as standard. This Verso does have a 1.8 litre, dual overhead cams, 16 valves, naturally aspirated inline-4 petrol engine with electronic fuel injection and Toyota's Valvematic technology. This engine produces 145 horsepower at 6400 rpm and 180 Nm of torque at 4000 rpm. 0 to 62 miles per hour or 0 to 100 km per hour takes 11.1 seconds, and the top speed is 115 miles per hour or 185 km per hour. The fuel tank measures 60 litres and the combined fuel consumption for the Verso 1.8 CVT is 43.5 miles per gallon or 6.5 litres per 100 kilometers. 150 grams of carbon dioxide is emitted per kilometer, and the Verso is a front-wheel drive vehicle. The Verso was launched in the UK in April 2009, while the facelift went on sale in 2013. Currently, the Verso is available in 4 trim levels: Active, Icon, Design and Excel, and 3 engine choices: a 1.6 petrol paired to a 6-speed manual, a 1.8 petrol paired to a CVT, and a 1.6 turbo diesel paired to a 6-speed manual. Exterior features of the Verso Trend includes manual leveling halogen projector headlights, halogen daytime running lights, front and rear fog lights, front and rear parking sensors, indicators on the side mirrors, body-colored door handles and side mirrors, black D-pillars, and a rear spoiler. You do have a speaker down there together with a bottle holder and some storage. Right here, you do have your window lock, central locking and your window controls. All of the windows in this car are powered, while the driver's side is the only side that gets a fully automatic function in both directions. Right here you do have your mirror controls. This lever allows you to adjust the level of the headlight, while this button allows you to adjust the brightness of the interior at night. Down below, this button allows you to turn off the vehicle's traction control system, while this button allows you to activate or deactivate the vehicle's parking sensors. Pull this lever to release the fuel flap. And the driver's seat in this Verso Trend does get full manual adjustments. This lever controls your seat back, this lever controls your seat height, and this bar down here controls your seat position. Alright, so let's go ahead and see how she revs. The Verso in trend trim does come standard with a dual zone automatic climate control system with all of the controls located right here. It is quite simple to use. In the circle in the middle, you do have your fan, speed, automatic mode, air conditioning, dual mode, as well as your different modes. Dual means if you have it turned on, the driver's side and the passenger side will have individual temperature controls, but if you turn it off, the driver's side will control the temperature for both sides. And speaking of temperature controls, you do have your driver's side temperature and your passenger side temperature. Right above, you do have your off button, front and rear defrost, and your recirculation button. You do have two displays for the climate control. One is located within the climate control panel itself, and the second one is located within the infotainment display. You do have your sport mode activation button right here. And right down here you do have some storage, a power outlet, a couple of cup holders, more storage right here, and you do have your USB and auxiliary ports right here. The Verso trend does come standard with Toyota's Touch 2 with Go head unit that features a 6.1-inch color touch screen display, various media connectivity options, navigation, and 6 speakers for the sound system. I must say, for a stock sound system, the speakers in the Verso do sound quite good. We are currently in your Bluetooth audio streaming menu with your current song playing information. You do have the title, album, artist, song number, and song duration. Down below, hit this button to bring up your list of media options. You do have FM, AM, DAB digital radio, auxiliary, Bluetooth audio streaming, CD, iPod connectivity, and USB. You can have your shuffle and repeat options down below, browse for music, and hit this button to bring up your media options. You do have your title list, browse for music, and your different play orders. If you hit the media button, you can bring up your media options as well. And you do have your seat track buttons right here. Right above, you do have your volume and power knob. Right up here, you do have your CD player. It is MP3 compatible. Eject button for the CD player. Hit the setup button to bring up your setup menu. Right here, you do have your general setup with your language, volume settings, units, beep, and all that. Your display settings with your day mode, turning the display off, as well as the brightness and contrast of the display and the brightness and contrast of the reverse camera display. You can access your audio settings right here with your bass, mid, treble, balance and fader, and your speed, volume. Next up, we do have your connectivity settings with your Bluetooth. You can connect the system to the internet and all that. Phone settings, and your vehicle settings with your locks, climate, and lights. Right here, you do have your tuning knob. Hit the car button to bring up your trip information as well as your past records for the trip meter. Right here, you do have your average speed, range, your fuel data, elapsed time. You can clear the data, and your past records with your past fuel consumption data for trip 1. If you're in trip 2, you'll bring up the trip 2 data instead. You can update and clear the data as well. Hit this button Right here we do have your Toyota online system. You can search whatever you want to search for online, read your email, pictures, Toyota Eurocare, bring up Google Street View, fuel prices and all that. If you hit this button once more, you bring up your Bluetooth telephone menu. Right here you can dial a number, look at your contacts, look at your call lists, and read your messages. Hit this button to bring up your navigation. Right here we do have your maps. If you hit this button down here, you can bring up your map settings, route information, turn list, location and GPS information and all that. You can even stop the guidance right here if you do have the navigation guidance active. Hit the nav button to bring up your destination input menu. Right here you can look at your destinations, enter destination, traffic messages and route options. Hit this button to bring up your traffic information. Hit this button to change your map view. And hit this button to bring up your zoom buttons. And that's about it. Front quarter windows, central locking. This car does have power folding side mirrors. On the steering wheel, the last spoke houses your audio controls with your volume, your seat track buttons and your different mode selection button. On the right spoke, you do have your on-hook off-hook buttons for the Bluetooth telephone system, your voice control button, and this display button right here actually controls your multi-information display located within the instrument cluster. Right now you do have your range, average speed, elapsed time, your date and outside temperature, your settings menu, with your clock format, date format, language, eco indicator, units, and all that. Next up, we do have your time and outside temperature, current fuel consumption, average fuel consumption, eco display, and back to your range. Down below, you do have your trip meter as well as your mileage, and to go between your trip A and trip B and the mileage, use this button right here. Right now, we do have trip B, mileage, trip A, and back to trip B. To the left, you do have your fuel gauge. And right down here, you do have your speed limiter activation button. Right down here, you do have your cruise control. On the right stalk, you do have your wiper controls. And on the left stalk, you do have your light and indicator controls. The steering wheel in this car is tilt and telescopic. You adjust it using this lever right here. Front center armrest with storage down below. Remove this partition to reveal more storage. Manual dimming, rear view mirror. Right here, you do have a mirror to keep tabs on your rear passengers. This button turns off the interior sensors for the alarm system, and you do have your interior lights right above. Sun visor for the driver's side does get a vanity mirror and a light. And the driver does get a grip handle. Alright. So I guess that's it for the startup. We can turn it off right now. And continue with the rest of the tour. You do have your window control right there. Down below you do have a speaker, a bottle holder and some storage. The 3 individual middle row seats in the Verso can be moved independently of each other. You can fold the seat backs down, you can move the seats forward and back, and you can adjust the angle of the seat backs. To move the seats forward and back, there are levers on each of the seat bases. Pull it, and then slide the seat forward or slide the seat back depending on whether you want less legroom for the middle row and more legroom for the last row of seats, or more boot space. To adjust the angle of the seat backs, locate the levers on the sides of the headrests, pull it, and tilt the seat backs to your desired position. To fold the seat backs, use the same lever and flip the seat backs down. To fold the last row of seats in the Verso, simply locate the straps on the seat backs, pull them, and flip the seat backs down. To gain access to the last row of seats, locate this lever, pull it, flip the seat back forward, and then move the whole seat forward. Now that I am in the last row of seats, it is actually quite uncomfortable back here. There is not much room to stretch out, but that being said, I do actually have the middle row seats all the way back. So if you do want to increase a bit of leg room for the last row of seats, you can always move the middle row seats forward as shown earlier on. I am actually sitting at quite an awkward position, but at least the seats are still nice and soft. There's not much headroom as well. You do get a cup holder right there. And another one for the right. You do have storage compartments on the floor itself. Another one for that side. I did set the driver's seat to a position that I would feel comfortable in. I'm about 5'7", which is about 1.7 meters tall. There is quite a bit of room to stretch out my feet underneath the driver's seat. As for leg room, I get about this much. And I do get about this much headroom. As mentioned earlier on, the middle row seats are in their furthest back position, so you can adjust the middle row legroom depending on what you prefer, whether you want more boot space or more legroom for the last row of seats. Again, as mentioned earlier on, you do get storage pockets on the front seat backs, tray tables with cup holders. You do have a power outlet down there. Rear center armrest. You do have your rear interior lights right up here. And you do have grip handles on the ceiling, with hooks for both sides at the back. To open up the rear hatch, go towards the rear hatch itself and locate a touchpad right beneath the Toyota badge. In 7-seat mode, boot space in the Verso measures 114 litres. In 5-seat mode, this figure rises to 399 litres. With all the rear seats folded, the boot space increases to 1,655 litres. To the left of the boot is a light and a power outlet. There is a cargo cover that can be utilized in 5-seat mode, but when all the seats are needed, the cargo cover can be stored underneath the boot floor. Underneath the boot floor as well are the tools to change the tires and some storage. Remove the storage tray and the spare tire is right there. The rear doors in the Verso do open quite wide at an almost 90-degree angle, which does aid entry and exit into the rear seats. Also, the Verso in trend trim is equipped with privacy glass for the rear windows and the rear windscreen. You do have adjustable headrests for all 3 rows of seats in this car. You do have your window control right there, speaker down below as well you do have a bottle holder and some storage. The front passenger seat does get full manual adjustments as well, it just loses out on the height adjustment as found on the driver's side. You do have two glove boxes in this car, a smaller one right above and a bigger one down below. Grip handle for the front passenger, and the front passenger's sun visor does get a vanity mirror with a light as well. Alright, so let's start it up with the door closed. Alright, so that's it for the startup and full vehicle tour video of this 2016 Toyota Verso 1.8 Trend. Thanks for watching and goodbye.